Slenderman, Slenderman, all the children try to run. Slenderman, Slenderman, to him it's part of the fun. Slenderman, Slenderman, dressed in darkest suit and tie. Slenderman, Slenderman, you most certainly will die.
Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
And I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And tonight we have a very special guest.
Captain Solanum.
Yes. And we're here to discuss those internet stories most creepy, most slender, and most pasta. For this week is the last week of Slendermonth 2015. And we're sending it off with MarbleHornet.
We're gonna do it again next year? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. So, yes, we are doing MarbleHornets for the last of the Slendermonth for this year. And it's been a bit of a trial.
And for those of you who aren't aware of what MarbleHornets is, it's a vlog storyline
web series.
featuring... Yeah, it's a web series featuring Slenderman. So not an actual creepypasta, but...
It's kind of what started Slenderman's popularity.
It's a sleepy pasta. It's a creepypasta in a different format.
Yeah.
Just because you were napping during it.
That actually happened.
Yeah, I did this morning, yeah.
Not surprised.
So, just a quick little backstory on like how it got started. It was made by Troy Has a Camera, or THAC, as they call themselves. They're like a filming group on YouTube. And it consists of Troy Wagner, Tim Sutton, and Joseph DeLodge, who are the three main actors in MarbleHornets. Troy being Jay, Tim being Tim, and Joseph being Alex. And it came the first entry was out in June 20th, 2009, which was about less than a month prior, or less than a month of Slenderman becoming a thing. Like the first posting by Victor Surge was, I believe, the 9th of that month. And then Troy made the first entries and then posted them. So, and then it ended on June 20th, 2014. So 5 years since the original entry. I enjoyed it when I first heard about it. It was like entry 7, I think, was when I got into it from somebody telling me about it during college. And I've just been following it ever since it started. So, but yeah, we'll get into the rundown and probably have some commentary interspliced, I'm sure, or however we decide to do it. And we'll just go by season because there's 3 seasons. So for season 1, it starts off with Jay has a bunch of these tapes from his friend Alex. From a failed, incomplete college film titled MarbleHornets. And at some point in 2009, he rediscovers the tapes in his closet and decides to go through them because he never actually did. And he starts going through them and starts noticing this strange man seemingly stalking Alex in the videos. The man is, of course, very tall, wears a suit, faceless. It's Slenderman, although they never give him that name. The closest we get to a name for Slenderman in this series is the Operator, and that's only because they refer to the Operator symbol, which is an O with an X in it. That is apparently his calling. In the tapes, it begins to show Alex growing more paranoid, having more, filming himself outside of, shooting this film, and there's a lot of distortion in the film when they're doing the film project, and you even see some appearances of it. And eventually, you also get, disappearances of the other, crew members of the show involved. Jay begins investigating himself and runs into the weirdness when he goes to one of his old friends Brian's house, who was part of the series, and meets the operator, and then meets this masked man who the community has dubbed Masky, even though we never get a real name for it. Jay starts up his own camera because he starts becoming more paranoid, goes to that place again, and again bumps into Masky. Mostly, and then, as he starts filming himself, at home and stuff, there starts getting more weirdness. He wakes up one night, in the middle of the night, and goes out of his room, but there's a camera that's feeding on the outside of that room, and it never opens the door. So he tries to, play off as, this weird spatial change or teleportation thing. So he goes to investigate, the places from the original tapes, and even goes to, this red tower that's, a rock climbing tower and a camp in the woods, and finds yet another tape. And this tape shows... also, while this is all going on, there's a secondary YouTube channel called To The Ark that's posting these cryptic, creepy messages. So he's having to contend with that as well. And occasionally the MarbleHornets channel gets hacked. So the tape from the Red Tower which seems to have been left to the Ark, shows Alex and another crew member, Seth, investigating an underground facility or like a basement area for like a college or something, and then being attacked by the operator. And then it ends with Alex at home in front of the camera, stating that everyone is gone. Like Seth is gone, Jay is gone, Amy's gone, or I think it's Amy's gone. No?
Sarah.
Oh, Sarah's gone, yes.
Amy is later, season 2.
Yeah, and as he's saying this stuff, a shadow casts over him, and then...
See, I was paying attention.
Yeah.
I might have napped, but I fucking paid attention.
Yeah.
I absorb through osmosis. All I have to do is be present.
Nice. Jay investigates the house for a third time and is attacked by the operator in a little bit more force. And after that, he stays away from his own apartment, and then later discovers that his apartment is burned down. Somebody calls him and tells him to look up the news, and on the news, his apartment is being burned down.
I gotta say, did they know he was like not staying at home? Or like,
I think maybe they called.
Were they like, hey, you should check the news, unless you're on fire, in which case you should fucking get out.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, I just kind of assumed that it was like he got the call and it's like, hey, where are you right now? You're not home, right? Okay, good. Wait,
Yeah.
You don't know about this? You may want to check the news.
I like to go with the most ridiculous option.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, that is what's. Yeah,
that's why I'm here.
So yeah, the apartment's been burned down. At this point, Jay has kind of had it, and he's ready to just give up. But then he gets a package in the mail, and it's yet another tape. And this one has Alex, who hasn't been seen by Jay since 2006, and the current date is roughly 2009, 2010, living fine with his girlfriend, and she's found a camera in his closet, and she asks him about it, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with it, just tells her to put it away. And
turn it off and put away, and she's all like, I did turn it off, and he's like, I can see the fucking light, you bimbo.
He's like, fine, and then turns around, and boom, there's Slenderman in the hallway, and she just freaks out, and then Alex is just like, okay, we gotta go, and they go to, like, open a window to jump out the second floor of this house, and then it cuts out, and we don't know what the fate of them were at this point. And so... Oh, and there's also a message in red, over a red background, saying, help, in capital letters. So Jay decides he has to find Alex. And that's the end of Season 1. Season 2 opens up 7 months later, and Jay wakes up in a hotel with no memory of the last 7 months.
Is he in a hotel or in his car?
He's in his hotel.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a girl named Jessica who has the room next to him, and she has gaps of memory loss as well. After some time, Jay gives up on the locked safe that is in his room because he feels like there's something in there, and decides just to get out of this place with Jessica. But as he's going to grab his stuff, Jessica disappears, and when he goes to investigate her room, he finds the password, supposedly, to the safe, though he does check her safe
Didn't
first.
Didn't he get it in a text?
No, I think he got
it's a little piece of
a
paper.
little piece of paper,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And so he opens up the safe, and boom, there's a ton of tapes and a hard drive. So he starts putting those into a bag, but then Maskey shows up and starts a brawl with him. But Jay escapes it, along with all his stuff, and gets into his car and leaves.
He does get a text with numbers in it, but I don't recall what it was for. But he thought it was for the safe, and it wasn't.
Yeah, he tried that, yeah. Also, at this point, Maskey has a limp. That we will find out later why that happened. The tapes are the last 7 months, pretty much, of his life, looking for Alex, investigating places like Rosswood Park, which is kind of the central location of this entire series.
Meeting Jessica.
Yeah, him meeting Jessica, him finding Alex, and then
it turns out that Jessica's Amy's roommate,
Yeah.
and Amy being
Missing.
Alex's girlfriend, and yeah, she's been missing since
The Alex thing.
valiant escape.
Yeah, from the Slenderman. And then when he finds Alex for the first time, they're at a house that was where the package was, and Maskey's there, and Maskey tries to get Alex with a knife, but they're able to subdue him, and then Alex grabs a rock and breaks Maskey's left leg, which ultimately... And then they also pull off the mask, and it's discovered that Maskey is in fact Tim from MarbleHornets. So... That's that tape, and then Jay starts realizing how much of a jerk Alex is, or how paranoid he is, and that he's not telling Jay the whole truth.
Sorry, let me just ask a question here.
Yeah.
Jerk. So are we PG on this?
Oh, no, God, no.
Okay, so he's a fucking dick.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, he's a complete douchebag.
He really is.
Leaves he's not telling Jay any of information all the information that he needs. He's leaving him in the dark. He's telling him to go places and telling him to wait.
God, it's like being friends with Leviathan. Jeez.
I know.
Except without all the awesomeness that radiates from it.
Yeah. That's what that is. And not total and seething hatred for the both of us.
I got no problem with Solanum.
Alright, it's just me? Okay.
It's not just you. I hate other people, but you're the only one in the room.
Specifically, Tim,
You're the one.
Troy, and Joe.
Yeah. All right, so Alex gets Jay and out into the woods to explain some things. Eventually, gets we gotta get a piss poor explanation of, or maybe possible origin of what Slenderman is by that weird ghost story that he tells them. But that's pretty much the extent of our information that Alex tells us about what Slenderman is. And it's this ghost story about they used to hang or tie people to trees and let them grow and starve to death, so they'd thin out and they'd stretch with the tree growing and stuff.
Yeah,
because it grew really fast.
Trees grew really fast and
yeah.
I was just like,
I mean, it's a ghost story, so it makes
they
kind of.
They did say in the ghost story that in this area trees did grow really fast, and that they died of thirst long before they were ever stretched out by the trees.
Yeah. So it gives us a little bit of it gives you a slight inclination.
It's
something
still
deeper.
total bullshit.
Well, yeah,
It's
but
total,
so are most ghost stories and things, and this is obviously a fabricated one for this series.
Yes, but usually the reason a ghost story is bullshit is because of the ghost, not because of what makes the ghost.
Yeah,
fair enough.
That's what I've found. From
well, and I mean
all
that
the ghost
story is
stories.
how old is it supposedly?
Like
hundreds of years old.
Yeah,
and the guy is wearing a modern suit.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
kind of a bit of a hole right there. That
yeah. And we never really get spoilers. We never actually truly get an explanation for what he is. So.
Yeah.
One of those rare instances where I'm willing to accept the supposition that Alex is a douche. So Alex just makes up whatever he feels. Yeah, he says whatever his listener wants him to say, so that he can keep them
going
in this shit.
His words are a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Well,
anything to advance the plot.
Well, I mean, anything to, get Jay okay, let's fun this out.
Yeah. Yeah, and exactly. You could just say that it's just been Alex trying to lure him in closer because gave him this bullshit explanation.
Well, you got to come into the forest because I got something I got to show you. And
it's totally not my 9.
Yeah.
But then at that point, this is the first time he tries to go there, and Jay says it's getting dark. I'll head out, and then Alex tells him to bring Jessica the next time. And so they both Jessica and Jay and Alex go out into the woods a second time.
Okay, and this is... I gotta interrupt, because this is one of the things that fucking just continuously just irked me the entire fucking series. The padding of entries, and this is a prime example. Oh, and bring Jessica next time. Well, if you fucking wanted her here, why didn't you ask me to bring her here this time and fucking show up when there was still lots of daylight to burn, so that you could get me out here and instead of doing a second fucking entry, get it all finished in one.
More than that, even more than that, this is something that really bugged me about the story, was, okay, at this point in the story, Jessica has never met Jay.
Yeah.
Not once.
On the phone,
they've spoken on the phone.
Yeah.
And now he's convinced her somehow to come out into a forest in the middle of nowhere with Alex, the guy who Jay has told her may have had something to do with her roommate's disappearance.
Yeah.
Doesn't really seem like an intelligent move for any sane person.
Oh, yeah. The stupidity of the characters
and self-preservation
is its own fucking thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, taking that into account, why didn't Alex ask for Jessica this time?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's... Because, okay, I can understand how maybe, Alex as a character, thought of it now, but... you've got to think that the guys making these, videos and these entries, they have, at least the next few plotted out, right? So why wouldn't they combine these 2 episodes by having Jessica there from the get-go?
So that they can tell them the creepy story and then brag them out and then shoot the
So that I don't have to watch the same fucking tramp through the woods.
Yeah. Because the most, like...
Because
they
that is
just film.
fucking tedious.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much MarbleHornet. Which we discovered.
Like, they don't even try and cut back on it.
Yeah.
Like, the reason I'm bringing it up now is because, I could have brought it up several times, but this was the point where I'm like, you guys are fucking... I don't think you're trying to piss me off, because I'm not actually that paranoid, but you are fucking pissing me off, and you're doing it intentionally.
Yeah.
Like...
There is a lot of just, like, burning the tires. They're, like...
Spinning
the wheels, thank you. In this series, because they're trying to go for a very slow burn, like, almost stalling burn of horror, but it's... and paranoia.
Times like that, where
they just
it's not enhancing the mood any to break that up over 2 entries.
Yeah.
But, it makes the fucking... It makes your, I don't know, Alex is at this point the antagonist. It makes your antagonist look fucking just inept.
Yeah.
Like, comic book villain level inept.
Mm-hmm.
Minor comic book villain inept.
Yeah,
well, you could also...
this guy's looking like Mysterio right now.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, you could also say that it's because his deteriorating sanity. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's panicking half the time.
But all of this shit is just, like... He's got all of this fucking convoluted shit that's working out for him, but he can't think, you should bring Jessica the first time. It's like, you come out here. Oh, you're going home? Maybe you'll stay if there's a woman you need to impress. Bring Jessica next time.
Yeah.
It's just... Like I said, it was at this point in watching it where I was like, okay, you guys are fucking just... You guys are intentionally dragging this out, and it's not helping your case. Because I love a slow burn. Usually when they remake a horror movie, I still prefer the original. It's because it's usually about 30 minutes longer.
Yeah.
And that 30 minutes is not jump scares or fucking
it's just
gore or anything. It's
building up.
It's banal family life that's making you get to know the characters before they start putting them in danger.
Yeah.
I'm for that kind of shit, but that particular example was just so blatantly not there.
Yeah, and that's...
I'm like, fuck you, you don't care, neither do I.
Yeah. I will give it that. The series does not have, like, we don't really have much of a reason to like anybody but maybe Tim.
Yeah, Tim is probably the character that you can most like. Well, you get the most backstory on him,
and eventually,
and
because
till season 3.
At the start, man, I fucking hated him. Like, I didn't hate him. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything to, like, actually make me hate him. But I was just like, why is he here? And it wasn't until they gave him a reason to be on camera that I started to. Okay, I can dig you. You're not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's the only character you get any backstory on. And, more than that, he's the only character whose parent is ever mentioned. Really? His mother checked him into the hospital when he was a kid.
Okay,
that is the only time any parent is mentioned in the entire series. They have no siblings, they have no parents. They spontaneously existed just for the series program.
Yeah, we will get into it after the rundown, like some of our gripes, because we do need to get through this rundown.
Okay, well, continue.
So, spoilers, it was a trap. Alex tries to kill them in a abandoned, like, wood mill thing. Like, saying that, like, he didn't want Jay to drag Jessica into this, but now she's here, so he has to put her down too. And as he's holding the gun...
She's here at your insistence, you twat.
As he's holding the gun on them, Maskey shows up behind him, and, like, strangely enough, like, intervenes and, like, stops Alex from hurting them, and they escape. And they go to They get to the hotel and, like, try to get their stuff together, and then the operator attacks both of them, and Jay charges the Slenderman, or as I like to call it, Jay critically fails a SAN roll and gets temporary homicidal, or suicidal, depending on your preference, or depending on your perception of the situation, tendencies. Because he just straight up, like, loses his shit and just goes right at Slenderman in blind rage, and then...
Meanwhile, every other time he comes across, like, the Slenderman, he fucking runs like a little bitch. Meanwhile, what he's really looking for, when you break it down, is fucking Slenderman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he sees him and fucking runs like a little bitch. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand it's supposed to be terrifying, but aren't you supposed to be, like, fortifying yourself on your way to finding him?
Yeah. No, agreed.
That being said, every time they look at him, they break into a coughing fit and they spit up blood.
Yeah, because he's got the
How
sickness,
do you
which
face
is
off
this,
against
like...
the sickness, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're Tim.
Yeah.
Or Richard Cheese.
Yeah.
He's got the best version of the sickness.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, if that was royalty music, that'd be playing for the background for the
Call
yeah. So this rage-induced charge ultimately causes his memory to be erased, along with that of Jessica's, and then boom, he wakes up in that hotel like the next day with no memory of the last 7 months, and we've been caught up from 7 months. So
not entirely. After that, they do wake up, and you do get a brief clip of Jessica and Jay saying that they're going to go stay at a hotel for the night.
Yeah.
And
yes. Because they do like,
arrive at the hotel.
They go to another one,
and
yeah.
that's the last thing you get. They're going somewhere off the radar where Alex can't find them.
And
Yes.
this is where she tells him what to use as the code
which
for
is the last
safe.
4 digits of her phone number.
Yes. Yeah. So then,
Which is something that we'll never forget.
when
they forget.
Yeah, exactly. With what he learns from like watching all these tapes and like sticking us with it, Jay now wants to stop Alex. He doesn't want to find him. He's found him. He goes back to his hometown or the town wherever the filming had been, wherever Rosswood Park is essentially. And while roaming around downtown, sees Tim, and he figures he might have some more clues as to where to go next. So then we enter season 3. So season 3 opens up with Jay.
This is when I woke up.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay waits outside of Tim's doctor's office and
ambushes him.
Pretty much ambushes him. Asks him asks him if he knows anything or like has anything about like MarbleHornets from way back when they were shooting. Because Jay's still pretending that he was planning to revive the project.
Meanwhile, hasn't it been like 2-3 years since he originally approached Tim about like, hey, remember that movie you were in?
Yeah.
You want to be in it?
That was
and
a
Tim
year
was
ago.
like, yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure it was more than a year ago. That was season 1, dude.
So about 2 years.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you are the fucking least productive person on the face of the planet.
You are a procrastinating
You make
bastard.
the cultist look fucking enthused.
Hey!
Donate button.
All right. Fair enough. So, and as it turns out, Tim does have tapes. He has a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff that Alex had him
Because it
film.
was a shitty school movie, but by God,
They were
planning
B-roll.
for Blu-ray fucking bonus features.
So,
And yet they're using cassette.
yeah. Well, they're using. Oh, let's. Yeah.
They're using those because it's
using
way
8mm,
fucking more
actually.
difficult to find a memory card.
Oh, wait, but this season is actually when they start using the GoPro.
Yeah.
So they do have a digital camera.
Yeah.
That has the same tracking issues as their
Yeah.
tape cameras.
Well, I mean, they do legit use that GoPro. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it still has the same distortions and issues.
Yes, but it's it's tracking distortions. It's not pixelated like a digital camera should be.
Yeah, I know.
They only found the one thing to do in the editing program that they have. They didn't bother looking for a new one. They just like the look of this one.
Yeah, I will say that that's kind of a problem with a lot of Slender vlogs, is that they tend to use older like types of distortion for new technology.
And I will give it this. Until right now, I didn't even notice that was the case.
Yeah.
It was only just now that I realized that there's no pixelation. It's all just tracking issues that they keep reusing.
Yeah.
So, didn't really...
While you're watching it doesn't really break your immersion.
Yeah.
No.
Not like
It just
fucking
kinda gives
security
you-
cameras do for me.
Yeah. So Tim's tapes show Alex being brought by Tim out to the abandoned hospital, where he knocks Tim out and leaves him there, and then Tim manages to eventually leave the situation like at night.
Well, that and the whole
cat
idea
mouse
to
thing.
Okay.
test that place for
Yeah.
the shoot was Tim's idea.
Yeah,
because
he knew about
Alex
the
was
place.
looking for a specific kind of place, an old school, and he was like, well, I know this hospital that could probably pass as a school.
Yeah.
Just for the record, when he hit him with that heavy-ass pipe,
Yeah.
I assumed he murdered Tim.
So did I.
Or-
But then he wakes up and
That
he's fine.
seems to be the intention.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, Tim's still alive, so.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, maybe it was the intention, but, I mean, come on, man. He totally looks like a film school geek. He does
Probably
not
did
look
not.
like he has the upper body strength to murder someone with one blow.
yeah.
Fair.
Be it from a pipe or a fucking chainsaw.
Actually, Tim is the only guy who looks like he can take
And-
somebody out with one swing.
Yeah, I think Hoodie actually does get Alex once in the back of the head with like with a bat at some point.
no,
Or
it's
no,
not
it's
a
just
bat,
another
it's a
rock.
pipe.
It's another pipe.
It's a
okay.
pipe.
It's a pipe.
It's actually the same pipe that Tim uses later on the wall.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you guys filmed these two things on the same day.
Well, I mean, they were. I mean, I guess you could legify it's in the same area, but yeah, they pretty much used the same.
Well,
area.
I mean, it was left there after
Tim.
whichever one came first, the attack on the wall or the attack
Yeah.
on Alex.
I'm
But
just gonna say, as somebody who has a little bit of experience, trespassing, you try to do everything in one go.
Yeah.
You don't want to go back.
Yeah. So Tim is better at. So yeah, he manages to escape. Then in present time, not a recording. Jay persuades Tim to take him out to that same abandoned place, and they eventually, through their like meanderings and like him pushing Tim to like just ignore the one place and go to the one place that matters. They discover and start chasing this hooded figure that's been trailing Jay.
Also,
Who's-
Jay was a fucking dick about that.
Oh fuck yeah! He was just like, I
he
really
was a
want
total
this place.
Alex about it.
Yeah.
No, Alex was actually nicer about it than Jay
Like,
was.
yeah, he was more
At least
like-
Alex went and
Well,
investigated
yes,
this
but Jay
uh,
place.
was being very much like Alex.
Yes.
Yeah, like he knew, like he was being very like.
He's like, I
suspicious
know
of that.
that you don't want to go there, but
We need to
I'm
go
not
there.
going to come out and say that I know that you don't want to go out there. I'm just going to be like, well, let's go there
Let's go take a
anyway.
look at it. I wanna
Let's
go there.
not go to the place that I said I wanted you to show me, and instead go to this other place
'Cause I
that
heard
I
that
know
was
you
it.
don't want to go to, but I'm a giant dick.
Yeah.
It's almost like that was supposed to have been Alex as opposed to Jay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they got their scripts wrong.
Like, most of the time, the characters are fairly consistent, but that is a huge point where it was just like, wow,
The roles kind of switched a little bit.
you don't sound like Jay.
Yeah.
You really aren't friends with this guy, are you?
Yeah. Well, he really wasn't at that point. Like Jay didn't really know Tim, aside from like the filming.
but,
So
Tim is doing him a huge favor.
Oh, yeah.
When somebody, walks you 5 miles out in the middle of nowhere, across the tracks, across the field, across the road, down the road,
To grandmother's house we
to
go.
grandmother's house we go, they're doing you a pretty big solid, especially when they're at a place that you can clearly tell they're uncomfortable.
yeah. Surprisingly enough, that's actually the name of the hospital.
Although we
Grandmother's
don't-
house we go, mental institution. But yeah.
However, we also don't know at this point, and Jay doesn't know why Tim hates this place.
Yeah, and we do discover that later. So yeah, they chase off this hooded guy who the fan base names Hoodie because we're original.
Masky and hoodie, and we're
Masky and
original.
Hoodie, and I mean the operators.
Hey, look,
same thing.
they're all wearing pants. Let's call them all pantsies.
So Tim, after like this whole thing, like he like Jay
Can't call
wants to
me
go.
pantsies. That's why we're a podcast.
But yeah, so like chases him into this like to near where this like tunnel is, and Tim doesn't want to do that. And in fact, he's even like threatening, like I'm just gonna leave. Then like, you can go fucking do it, whatever. And then Jay leaves with him, and Jay tries to like mock and say, "Well, let's go check out this place." Where like, well, you clearly don't want to fucking go there. Let's just fucking leave. Like
I know what your fucking game is, and I
and yeah,
ain't
he does
having
catch
none of
on.
it.
Like Tim does catch on. Like he actually, and he out of the between videos, he goes on YouTube and looks up MarbleHornets, and what does he find? The entire series up until that point. And
Yes, he is the only character to fucking do this.
like I thought it was a really nice touch of kind of like not quite metagaming, but like reality. Like if I was part of something and like
one character, I'm not going to really call it reality.
as close as we get to reality in the series,
One character is just like, you know what?
I should probably check this
Not
out.
entirely true. Alex does the same thing. They make reference to
they
it,
are-
but he never comes right out and says that I was looking up MarbleHornets. But Jay does make reference to he knows Alex has been following his YouTube channel.
Well,
so
and
that's why he has to be more
obviously,
careful about
and
where he's
before we
hiding.
know that the antagonist is Alex, we are aware that the antagonist, because I mean, there's that whole other fucking channel that's,
to the arc, yeah,
clearly watching the MarbleHornets posts.
yeah, and then hacking in some cases and dropping their own videos into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tim the next time he confronts Jay, he lashes out at him and just gives him a good punch in the face and freaks out at him and then leaves.
And it wasn't a terribly girly punch too.
No, it was yeah. Then Jay alone goes back to the hospital and finds evidence of Tim being a patient at this place, or at least being a patient of some kind of institution in the tunnel that he was going to check out, but also encounters Slenderman because the operator's in the fucking pipes with him like a fucking snake and goes chasing after him. And then there's a hack on the channel.
I can just see Slenderman. My fucking dry cleaning bill's gonna be horrible. I'm gonna fucking get you.
And yeah, so then the next thing is that the channel gets hacked, and To The Arc posts a video of what's his name, Hoodie, going into Tim's place, taking his pills and stuff, and then making Tim masky because he enters this coughing fit and becomes masky. And then leaves a message for Jay to go find him. And so Jay then jumps onto the video and goes out and tries to find Tim, and he finds him. But then there's a scuffle between him and masky Tim, and they ultimately he knocks him out, and they both wake up in a shack in the middle of Rosswood Park with no recollection of how they got there. And then they kind of, at this point, decide that they have to band together, shakily form an alliance to deal with this stuff. And so they go into... Oh, yeah, also, between that, too, when Jay found the folder with all the information of Tim, he blatantly shows it off to the world.
Yeah, a private medical information just put right up there on YouTube.
Yeah, with pills and and stuff. All this stuff. Oh my god!
And diagnosis.
I mean, the important stuff is redacted, last names and stuff like that. But still, it's fucking that's a dick move. I'm surprised Tim didn't fucking kick him in the balls the next time they showed up and hung out. But yeah, so they go to Rosswood. They go back to Rosswood Park and investigate previous places, eventually making it to the tunnel that has popped up a couple of times elsewhere in the series. And it's just not a place to go as the series goes on. And in fact,
at one point earlier, a fucking stranger showed up, and Alex just fucking straight up murders him.
Yeah. Thinking he's Jay, and then has Slenderman just make him disappear. They're in the tunnel, and Alex gives Jay a call telling him to leave immediately. And then, boo-hoo, operator shows up, and Tim collapses from a coughing fit. And then Jay, Tim tells Jay to leave, and Jay runs off. And then,
in his defense, Jay does try to drag Tim away first.
Yeah, he does try.
Tim is a big boy, and I'm not sure I'd be able
Jay
to drag him off.
Yeah, that is true. Jay is definitely the scrawny man, whereas Tim is kind of the brawny man of the series.
Comes equipped with his own fucking plaid shirt.
Yeah.
So the operator takes Tim, as we find out in a later video, and just tortures him both physically and mentally,
and I'm
drowning him,
sure...
dragging him on seafloor, and
isn't this when he actually ends up in wherever the fuck that murdered guy was?
Yeah, in the dark. They call the people fan bases kind of called it the dark zone.
Okay, but I'm not fan base, so I'm going to say wherever the fuck the murder guy is.
Where all the dead people end up with Slenderman takes. That's usually what.
Because that's why I brought it up. Because this is kind of
dead people. Did we not see Jessica there once?
No, we just never see. We never see Jessica in there, but we do see her disappear.
Okay,
which. We'll find it. We'll get to it in a second. He teleports multiple places. Eventually,
she's Alex.
Eventually gets pops up. Finally, Slenderman leaves him alone in the park, right next to his car. And he just kind of sits there. And then Jay shows up after running from the tunnel and sees Tim in his car. He's like, "Tim, are you okay?" Jay just looks at
me here.
Yeah. Jay just looks at him deadpan. Just puts on the car, just leaves, and
just walks away.
Yeah,
in the car.
Yes.
And then Jay is standing there looking at the car driving away, and then, decides that he's going to go after him. So he gets in the car and puts the camera down and pulls out his keys, and starts the car, and puts
fucking
it in
glazes
reverse.
a ham.
Oh, and then puts his seatbelt on, and then,
and he
starts pulling out, and then he's surprised when he's like, I tried to follow Tim, but he was already gone.
Yeah. So, and then we find out where Tim exactly went. He goes back to the hospital, the abandoned place, and he, after, just roaming around, being miserable, he tries to OD on his medication, and almost, I think, succeeds to a degree. Though he does recover from it, from eating like a whole bottle of fucking pills.
I'm not certain the intention was to OD.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
my
His
reading
pills are
into that.
magical. He believes that his pills actually help him cope with the whole Slenderman
So it's like a
thing.
placebo effect? I don't
Well,
know.
I-
Well, no.
Yeah, we don't know yet. Yeah.
I have no, like, I mean...
we never get they never mention like what the drugs
He's
are.
taking so many to try and counter the fucking crazy.
that's going on.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem... Because he starts
It's not
out
an
with
attempt
one.
to OD, it's an act of desperation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he starts out with one, and then he starts out with... and then he goes to a couple more, and then it's a small handful, and then, you know, he's just like, fuck
And then
it,
it's
does
just
the
like-
rest of the bottle.
And
Yeah.
my favorite part is that he empties the bottle into his hand, shows the fucking GoPro, or camera. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he was wearing the GoPro. Shows the fucking GoPro, and then fucking... as opposed to just tilting the bottle.
In defense of that action, I personally would do a similar thing. Pour it into my hand, shake them up a bit so I can see how many I'm taking. Like, I mean, I hear what you're saying, because when I first saw it, I was like, why the fuck is he showing the camera? That doesn't make any sense.
This is also another symptom, or a symptom of a larger sickness of the series. They fucking show the camera when they should be hurrying, and
Yeah.
they shouldn't be showing the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was was
But-
the one that stood out for me.
Even when I'm taking a couple of Tylenol, I do the same thing. I pop them in front of
Well, yeah,
into
you
my
don't
hand.
shake them into your mouth from the bottle.
No, and I always hold them in front of my chest. I think that's just, you know, a result of, like, positioning. You put them in front of your chest below your face.
Sternum.
It's not that he was showing the camera so much as he was getting himself ready to take this huge fucking handful of goddamn horse pills, because they're massive.
Yeah. So
And with no water, I'm like, man, is he
That
chewing
guy
those
is a
bitches?
tank.
Okay, so once they reunite again, Jay and Tim follow Hoodie and do some investigation. They find more tapes, and the tapes show Alex's camera, and reveals that they aren't safe where they are, so they leave. While revisiting the tower area, the red tower area, they find burned tapes in a hole in the woods that they stumble upon. And while most of it's destroyed, some of it is salvageable. It shows further accounts of Alex's dropping sanity as he gives the tapes to Tim. It shows the footage of Alex giving the tapes to Jay, and then walking out that same within minutes to Jay when he's getting into his car and just beating the shit out of him and knocking him out.
Why
Which he
didn't
doesn't.
Jay say this at the time?
Jay doesn't recall this at all.
Yeah,
He never,
right afterwards,
yeah.
he's like, I have no recollection of this happening. How many of my other memories has Alex
been
reprogrammed? Or
yeah
whatever?
been tampering with, or
It might have been on a bathroom break.
yeah, it's possible. So.
It was a long marathon.
It was. The duo goes to Alex's original house where Jay got the tapes originally. We get some jump scare of Slenderman in the field near, as they put the camera down to go looking somewhere.
Yeah, but
They find some operator doodles. Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, there's a part where they're like, "Oh, he's not there," and even though Jay thought he was there, and then they put it on again, and boom, he's there. So it's like, and then the operators, they find some more operator doodles that Alex did. They go down to the basement, and then suddenly the time just shifts, like it's from daytime to complete nighttime, and they get attacked by the operator. The operator screws around with them and just almost gets Jay. Like, he's down on the ground coughing, like catatonic practically, but Tim fends him off by just staring him down and using the power of his medication.
This is the power of friendship.
Friendship is magic, bitch.
Care Bear stare!
And so then the Slenderman just kind of leaves and allows Tim to get Jay and get them out of there. And then Jay's kind of catatonic or in a stupor for a bit. A new video hack happens on the channel showing Tim's pills being stolen to the Ark, and showing that Alex has actually been hiding out in Tim's house in his attic. So Tim goes... So they go to Tim's house, where Jay finds a tape on Tim that Tim didn't want him to see, and it shows. Oh, and so breaks in adds in some mistrust between the two, and so Jay runs off.
That's what we fucking need. Conflict between two characters.
Yeah, and the tape when he goes to check the tape, it reveals that what exactly happened to Jessica after she disappeared in the hotel. As it turned out, she was left in the woods, woke up. followed Hoodie, then got attacked by Alex. Then Alex was with her, and then Alex tried to shoot her. Then Hoodie and Maskey showed up, fought Alex. Then she went running off into the woods, and the operator was there, and she didn't realize it was somebody bad, so she ran up to him and then got just completely operatorized or whatever he does. And the next thing we know, she's on the ground for a couple of minutes, and then she just kind of blinks out of existence. And Tim shows up, grabs the camera, and walks off.
Tim or Mask?
I believe it was Tim Maskey. Like, it was, maybe a disoriented Tim, because he does get very disoriented after he leaves these phases. So then Jay tries to get into Tim's house again, with a knife drawn, and...
I just want to talk.
Yeah, I want to talk. It's open, and then he goes in, and there's a scuffle. Jay's put on the ground, all his stuff is taken from him. He's cuffed, essentially, with, zip ties. And left there, because Tim's going to go check out the address they found in the attic where Alex was hiding, which is this place called Benedict Hall, an abandoned campus. And yada, yada, yada. Pretty much the next couple of entries are a cat and mouse between Tim, Jay, and Alex. Jay gets freed by Hoodie, who gives him a camera, and he goes over to Benedict Hall as well, and they, in his, hunt for Tim, finds Alex and gets shot by Alex, finally, because this guy finally hits somebody with that damn gun, and while he's bleeding out, he gets taken by the operator. Tim shows up, finds the camera, looks at it, oh shit, tries finding Jay frantically, no success. And then again, a couple of entries of Tim's side of the whole thing, and trying to find Alex, and trying to find this Hoodie guy. He encounters Hoodie, finally chases him through this psychedelic teleportation through different locations that they've been to. So the Slenderman's right there behind them, pretty much, causing all this bullshit. And it ultimately ends with Hoodie on a ledge on a 3-story building.
Inside Benedict Hall.
Inside Benedict Hall. Tim tries to get him, either to push him or tries to lift him up, and he drops and dies on the ground. And when he gets down there, he opens the hood.
Takes the hood off,
and it's Brian. From way back when, one of the actors from the original MarbleHornet.
Remember that name?
Friend.
Yeah, and Tim's only, oldest and only friend.
First friend.
Yes.
Not only.
Yeah.
Because, him and Jay are totally
let's
tight.
face it. Have you watched this show? They're pretty much, they don't have any friends.
No, they really don't.
They're not even friends with each other. They're just, acquaintances who work together. Like Green Lantern and Batman.
Yeah. So, at this point, there's some entries of Tim waiting for Alex. Eventually, he talks to himself in the camera and gets the big idea to go into his car, wait down the block from his house, and wait for Alex there. And Alex does show up at his house and starts setting it on fire under the pretense that Tim's there somewhere. And then calls him out. It's if you survive this fire, meet me at Benedict Hall and we'll end this finally, because you were the problem.
You know where to find me, which was kind of odd, because I was sitting there thinking I really don't know where to find you. There's 8 different places you could be.
And I'm not going to that tunnel again.
I'm not going to the tunnel. I'm not going back
and
to
here's
that
my question.
Hospital.
Tim's there in his car. Why doesn't he just fucking run him down?
Yeah. No, I know.
Because he left out back of the house. And
so he's going to go
around
on the street
front.
eventually.
All right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So he goes to Benedict Hall.
It's a car. You can only run people down if they're on the street. You can't drive on lawns or anything,
God, no.
right?
Yeah. What do you think this is? Grand Theft Auto?
Of the road.
What do you think this is? Grand Theft Operator? No. I'm going to get hurt for that. So, Tim...
Like how he just puts malevolence into my, I'm not going to do anything to you, and you're just telling people that I'm going to hurt you. You really make me play out to be the bad guy, don't you? It's like some sort of little opera in his head.
He's got the hypocritical oath.
Yeah. So Tim meets up with Alex in the abandoned Benedict Hall. They have a big scuffle, teleporting, and Tim tries to calm him down and trying to persuade him to not do this, but he's out for blood because he thinks that killing everybody will stop the spread. And ultimately, Tim knifes him with his own knife and just kills him. And as he's gurgling, he's like, "You gotta kill everybody involved, and then yourself to stop the spread." And then he dies. And then the camera zooms out, goes back to him, swings away and swings back, and the body's gone. And then Tim just kind of collapses from weariness and just all this bullcrap. And the last entry is Tim's back to normal. He's throws his masky mask in like a dumpster somewhere. Goes to a clinic where Jessica's there, so she's fine. She's been taking medicine and like really been helping this stuff. And Tim says that Jay's gone away and that he's going to leave soon. And then he kind of breaks into this like horrible coughing fit, and almost like it's like, oh god, something's going to happen. And then it cuts to him driving with faint sirens in the background. Like people have said they can just barely hear these sirens in the background, hinting that there might be something.
Honestly, I wasn't sure if the sirens were part of the tape or if
it
the
was just
sirens were on my street, because they happen all the freaking time on my street.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times I was watching that and there were sirens, so I paused it just to see if it was on the tape or in my neighborhood, and it was usually my neighborhood.
Yeah, well, where I was when I saw it, like I knew there weren't any sirens, but so I was able to catch that.
Well, yeah, yours is the best place to do murder. I mean,
yeah, I know. So, and yeah, like he's there. He gets to an intersection where it's like a left or a right, and he goes left, and then it cuts to black with some narrative text that we've gotten throughout the entire series. Everything is fine. Is it? We don't know. And that's left. That's the end of the series. The series ends with some ambiguity. And I think it's pretty well. It's a good ending because it's like it leaves you wanting to know, but it leaves you thinking about it. So that was Marble Hornets seasons 1 through 3. As I had stated, I first saw it when Entry 7 came out, and I think what really kind of sparked my interest in it was the first couple of entries, with seeing the Slenderman there, just like appear like because it was one of the first accounts I ever watched or read or whatever of Slenderman, so I wanted to know more. And I think it, for me anyways, watching it as a series, like every couple of weeks or every couple of months, every time it got posted, I think that's what kept me coming back, because I wanted to know what would happen next. Thinking about it now, and after going through the 130 some odd entries that included To the Ark, the channel, doing a marathon of it is a little aggravating, because that second season is a little ham-fisted, or a little like just heavy-handed on on plot or senseless plot. So,
well, there's
like
the entire series is plagued with just
over the top
pointless fucking entries that go nowhere and nothing happens. But by God, we got to have them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's so much filler.
Mm-hmm. No,
and
I agree. Like,
when
there is
you
a lot
watch
of it.
3 seasons
In a
where
row.
80% of it is filler, and you do this over like a 36-hour period like I did, it's a little much.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, you're watching episodes, and you're like fucking getting up to, use the bathroom, get a drink, make fucking dinner, and you're just like, fuck it, I don't care what I miss, it's just gonna be filler anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was even like points in that 5-year period where like people would just be like, oh, another entry, I don't care, it's probably just another, like, they're probably just running around the forest again, kind of thing. Like, it got to a lot of people as well, and I think that's why they decided to stop it now.
And I had
finally.
a bit of a benefit, because when I sat down and watched it, Cultist and I watched like half a season at a time.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of progression, there was a whole lot of filler, but I actually watched it in, 6 sittings?
Yeah, about that.
About
Manageable chunks.
Yeah.
Manageable chunks, and I got some story, and it didn't feel like I'd wasted a whole day just on filler.
Yeah, like what happened when I tried to revisit it a
Whereas
third time.
me, I've
Or
spent
him.
all of my downtime in the last 2 days watching this shit.
And we commend you
And
for
I didn't
it.
even do the To the Ark stuff.
Yeah, I really like the To the Ark stuff.
It does give you...
It's creepy, it adds to the atmosphere.
And it actually let the community interact with the series, because people were like throwing their own, like, it's like, oh, that the binary means this, or like the messaging is this kind of stuff, and like that was kind of like the creators' way of like interacting with the audience.
And like season 2 on because Cultist, you lent it to me on DVD.
Yeah.
Disc 1 of season 2. Even the title screen is creepy, because it starts out with just this little bit of light that you can see on the screen, and it slowly brightens up, and there's this distorted music playing in the background, and you've got no idea what you're looking at, and then it turns out to actually just be a light bulb warming up.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's in a shack, and then you've got your menu options. Like all of it just added to the air, to the atmosphere, and it felt like a To the Ark entry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because the first 2 DVDs were actually done by a third person company. It wasn't actually by the THAC guys. It's not until the 3rd season where they actually got a Kickstarter going to do it themselves. That 3rd season was actually their own DVD creation.
Okay.
But they did have another studio.
Might explain why the third one doesn't stand out in my mind at all.
Yeah. Well, you did also recently see that one. The other one, we both sat down and watched the other 2.
Yeah.
On DVD, and it was kind of a more hanging out and watching it, and it was oh, that's really cool thing. Whereas the other one, you're just kind of trying to get done for this, right? So, but yeah, I don't know if it was any different or whatnot. So,
and I should preface my hatred of a whole bunch of things in this show with the fact that I actually really liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the crap out of it. There's just some holes, and those holes are blatantly obvious, and they kind of bug me now.
Yeah.
But all in all, I've sat down and watched it twice, and neither time did I want to rip my eyes out or pierce my own eardrums with a screwdriver.
There's definitely, as a whole, I don't care for the series. There are some there are some fun, really good entries, and there are some really nice ideas, and, it's definitely, the series, I may not have liked it, but it was worth watching as a whole. Well, it was worth watching, just not necessarily as a whole. Because, some of the ideas and some of the stuff, but there were just so many immersion-breaking moments, or not even moments, because there were a lot of immersion-breaking things, and those things kept fucking coming up.
Yeah.
Just the complete and utter lack of family, other friends, and law officials.
yeah.
Yeah.
No law officials.
That one was the really big one for me, because this has taken place over a period of
5
fucking years.
5 years. Yeah.
And Jessica's missing for half of it.
Yeah. Amy's gone missing since the beginning, practically. Brian, Seth.
Yeah, we see Amy once,
Yeah.
and then she's missing, and that one entry is before it all starts.
Yeah.
And she's missing for 8, 12 months, and never once does anybody call the police.
No.
I mean, you have to...
I mean, you've got to assume that someone does, but, the police never talk to any of these people.
They never track down Alex. They never track down Jessica.
No one. They never look for Alex. All of the shit that Alex does. I mean, if
We have
anyone
evidence.
listening has actually watched the episodes...
You have a tape of Alex murdering a guy.
Yeah. A complete stranger in a tunnel.
Stranger. And you posted it on the internet, but you haven't shown it to the authorities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, I don't know why, a lot of the characters...
That just destroys my immersion, because I'm this should have been over a year and a half ago, a season and a half ago, because the cops should have fucking locked this shit down.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, apparently Alex is a hard guy to find, so they might have had a hard time tracking him down, but still, as soon as you know where he is, all you gotta do is call the police.
all they needed to do was track him down once, and I'm pretty sure the shit that he kept pulling, lethal force would have been used.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a gun and shoots people.
Or knifes people, or just...
That knife is actually Jay's.
Right, okay, yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
He doesn't get stabbed with his own knife. He gets stabbed with Jay's knife by Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cultist likes to remember things differently sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I get gaps of memory and stuff.
And he just fills them in with whatever hogwash he has.
There were some things that were actually pretty cool. I just wish they had done more of. You could clearly see Jay's paranoia and craziness starting to set in. The time that he thought he was being followed.
Yeah.
And he actually approaches the guy, and the guy's like,
Oh, yeah, the guy on the
And this
cart.
is the only time that happens.
The only
The only
that
person
happens.
we see that's not like them. It's just
and the guy who gets murdered.
and the guy. And the old woman in the antique store, I guess.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
do
I'm
talk
When
guessing
he's
she
looking
was-
for Tim.
Oh yeah.
She was
she
probably
does.
actually the proprietor of the antique store, and they just went in and got permission for her to be on tape for a minute.
Yeah. So they do have some random people, but there's not a lot of people.
Many.
Yeah, there's not very many people.
And then later in season 3, where he starts hallucinating and thinking that he sees the operator, but he doesn't.
Yeah. And we're not sure if it's
Or at the
because
very
of the sickness.
least, we don't.
Yeah, he might be seeing him, but the camera's not picking it up. until like
I mean,
the one
it's fucking Slenderman. Who can say whether or not he's actually seen Slenderman?
Yes,
But
I did, however, go frame by frame, and I didn't see.
No, yeah, and he's blatantly not
And
there.
I
know.
checked.
Yeah, no,
I checked thoroughly.
he's not there. But who says that Jay isn't actually seeing it?
Fair.
like, he's not hallucinating.
Now, does that really help us really say he's mentally stable? No, but
But I really feel like, that whole paranoia thing should have played in more. Like, I mean, do more with that. Because you did it the once, and I was actually...
and never did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed that. It was like, okay, he thinks he's being followed. Is he being followed? Is this guy an actor? Is he a recurring character? What's going on here? Oh, no, it appears that he is just a normal dude. But he is like one of 3 normal dudes in the whole world.
Which makes him suspect.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the things that I really liked very early on, the fucking whole series just lost me, and this has probably colored my whole entire opinion of it. Because I watched the first, a couple weeks ago, I tried to get a start on this, and I watched the first 20 entries.
Yeah.
Plus to the arc shit. I think it was only, like, entries. And where was I going?
House?
Right. No, shut up.
Sorry.
Don't try and think for me. You can't handle my level. I was actually liking Jay going through Alex's MarbleHornets, like, tapes.
Yeah.
And, like, just because they weren't labeled, so he's just, like, basically going through them randomly, and, like, he's finding things that, like tapes, oh, this might be after this tape, or from this entry. And I was actually enjoying that, the way it was kind of, like, not slapdash, but just kind of, like...
Random and fill in the blanks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It left a lot to the imagination, because it's like, oh, what happened? And then you actually do get maybe an answer as to what happened after.
Yeah.
But you've got to wait for it. And I was liking that, and it was when Jay started doing, like, walking around with a camera, because this is kind of what fucking gets me in a lot of found footage shit, is why are you walking around with a camera?
Yeah. And
So now Jay's all of a sudden fucking walking around with a camera trying to find shit out. It's like, well, you know what? You don't, like, it's not like you're
You don't need
carrying
to
the
be recording.
camera so that you can, like, talk to the camera or, like, vocalize, because you always just fucking preface your entries, well, you bookend your entries usually, with fucking text on the screen. So, you could really just put the text on the fucking screen, and I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. The thing I think is, like, why, like, another thing I think they tried to explain with why they're constantly having the cameras is because the camera doesn't lie. Like, their memory is lying to them. Like, they don't remember things happening.
Yeah, but...
So, I think that's why they have a camera, is that they try...
But they say this way after.
I know.
And
I'm just saying...
I'm already lost, because I was really enjoying the actual found footage, not I'm going to make footage for my found footage project.
Yeah.
I'm going to... Like, it was better when it was a legitimately found footage thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had, like, I agree with you. It was just kind of random that he started carrying a camera around. There was really no point to it.
No.
There would have been more point if something had have happened off camera and he told
Jay.
us about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, so this is why I'm going to start carrying a camera around, so that I have proof of it to show you guys.
Because at least that would have been, like, at the very least, the token reason that, you know, even the Paranormal Activity movies give us.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm not asking for much, but, like...
Just a plausible explanation for why you're always having a camera.
I need a real-world explanation as to why you're walking around with a camera, not because you just have one.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Like, I have a camera. I don't fucking film my day-to-day routine.
Nope.
There'd be a lot of dick shots on the internet if that was the case.
Dr. Leviathan dick shots.
I urinate a lot.
Okay, fair enough.
And I aim.
I don't. That's what walls
And
are
that's
for.
why you go outside, sir.
So
Make me use the tree.
yeah, yeah. I will say, like, they do, they later on in the series try to explain why they are always using the camera. It's the same kind of trope thing that happens in every, like, kind of vlog series, that they need to come up with a reason why the idiots who have no self-preservation skills whatsoever, are going into these horrible like situations, these abandoned places with a camera or filming them their everyday lives.
Well,
So that
and
we
they
get
do have self-preservation instinct. Whenever they find what they're looking for, they run from it.
Yeah.
Because, fuck me, this cannot end yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, man, I want answers. Well, here's fucking Slenderman. Why don't you ask? Fuck that, I'm out of here!
I'm scared.
Oh, and they live in Alabama, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Supposedly, yeah.
And that tiny-ass folding knife is the best either of them have?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you know, we're the most normal people in the world, but Cultist, I've been in your room. You've got a few weapons.
Yeah.
It's legitimate. You know, there's just a few. They're on display, but some of them seem functional. I happen to know Dr. Leviathan has
Several tools.
several tools that could certainly that you would feel more comfortable if you had hanging out of your back pocket.
Things that don't fold and fit into your pocket.
Yeah.
Things that you would have to either have sticking out of your pocket
you,
or put on your
And
belt.
I mean, you two have both been in my living room. It's a goddamn arsenal.
I've been
Yeah.
in your knife
I feel
chest.
Yeah.
bad for the person that tries to break into your place.
Well, besides the big dog and the crossbow and the bow,
big friendly dog.
well,
He's
friendly
intimidating
to
at
you guys.
times. He is
Friendly to
intimidating.
you guys, but he can be pretty intimidating.
Yeah.
The machete and the swords and
Exactly. So yeah, there's that. And I will say, like, I mean, I do love this series a lot. Like, it's the one. It grew on me. Like, it's the one that I started with for Marble, and I've gone through at least 30 or 40 different Slender vlog series and watched them all. This one was my first, and I will give it that. But I will also give it, because in the last week I have watched this at least one or two times more, and I've just sat through it, and I was like, oh man, I love the first part. I forgot, like, how many entries there are that are just there for padding. And I was like, because they're ones that, like, because I've watched entries before, like, just off of the hand. I was like, I remember this series. I want to watch
It's
it again.
there to. It was there originally to keep people coming back and
So they didn't
checking.
have such a time. Yeah, so they didn't have such a long time between
But
series. So
when you watch it start to finish, like in a short time span,
It's
it
a lot
really
of padding.
is just fucking aggravating.
yeah, so I will give it that. Like that,
Especially
it does
when
need
you
that.
start getting into the longer entries.
Oh god,
Because at the start, man, they're like
2 to 5 episodes.
5 minutes is a
Yeah.
long entry.
Yeah,
yeah. But by the end, you're looking at 15 to 25 minutes, and
Yeah,
they're
and they're-
freaking
Yeah.
long.
yeah, and they're just drawn out with like walking or like hunts, like cat and mouse, like sneaking around a building and
And
stuff.
fucking dialogue that is
very not rehearsed or not.
Very
Like,
forced.
yeah,
It's definitely scripted. I really think that the entire series would have just greatly benefited from
Improv?
a lot of ad-libbing.
yeah.
As
Yeah.
opposed to, like, I mean, a general script, like, these are the points that we need to hit in the conversation, but then just talk.
But just talk. Especially with a found footage movie.
Yeah, because when it sounds like a script, it was another thing that broke the immersion. It's like, you sound like you're talking from a script. People don't talk like this. I mean, there is no, like, joking around with each other at all. Like, no one cracks a joke.
No, not
It
ever.
felt like in 3 seasons. And I mean, like,
And I mean, Tim and Jay hang out a lot. You'd think they'd, like, throw out a joke every now and then, or a really
Yeah.
bad pun or something. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there are, like, it's not, like, inundated with fucking characters, but there are enough characters that someone should have at least some sort of sense of humor.
Yeah.
And none of them do, because the person who wrote the script didn't, or didn't want them
which
to.
is shocking because those three the three actors have sense of humor. Like, I mean, Tim opens a present or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaking funny.
Yeah, their comedy
I
skits
mean,
are
it's
kind of weird for
ridiculous
the most
and
part.
weird, but
That's what they go
it's
with.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's a kind of a mixed bag with the series. It's enjoyable in its high points, but it's really kind of long and outdrawn when it comes to some of its low points.
Well, it's the first one that I watched.
Yeah.
And I like found footage movies. Found footage horror is generally the only stuff that gets to me. Like,
Yeah, because you got that immersion level.
Yeah, I can really get immersed in it. But as far as Marble Hornets went, it was my first, and I enjoyed the crap out of it. It is actually the standard by which I hold all Slender work to. But there are some points that they could have improved on.
Yeah.
What I would actually really enjoy for Marble Hornets would be another DVD release, all 3 seasons, with all of the unnecessary shit cut and gotten rid of, and just left on the editing room floor. Leave you with, like, I don't know, maybe, like, I would accept it, at 2 or 3 hours, with all of the stuff that, you actually need, and just all of those pointless plot threads, or just those fucking circular plot threads that just keep circling and spiraling throughout this series.
Yeah.
Just cut them, or, like, cut them down at least, and, have all of the pertinent all of the important scenes start to finish. That could be something worth watching, and it would be a much better product to be trying to sell the public.
I hear you. I think part of what you were missing was also because you weren't watching the parts of To the Ark. A lot of the fluff ones had response from To the Ark.
I actually watched a lot of To the Ark. Like, I watched my first startup of it. I watched with the To the Ark stuff, and it wasn't adding much to me. Okay. Like, I do see the value of it, but, partially because of my procrastination and just fucking schedule, I had to make the call to not have the To the Ark stuff when I did watch it.
Yeah.
But, honestly, I really do think that cutting it down, like, take the whole series, cut it down, make it, a mini-series length.
It'd probably only be 40, maybe 50 entries tops.
Yeah.
If you cut out all of
that would have been fine,
stuff
honestly.
and the To the Ark stuff.
Yeah.
And just cut out, cut out the entries and just have it, I don't know, you'd probably still need the entries, but
yeah,
just cut it out and re-release it on DVD. Because, leave the YouTube the way it is, because people can still watch it, a few episodes at a time. But that would be a very sellable product. That would be a product that, even though I didn't enjoy the whole series, I could endorse that product.
Mm-hmm.
And, like you have all 3 seasons. That would still be a fun way to watch the entire series, even though you already have the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a director's cut kind of thing or something.
Exactly.
I'm Commander Shepard, and I endorse this product.
So I guess we'll just get right down to it. I would still recommend the series after watching it 3 times. It is long, but it is worth it in most respects.
Okay, well, I've watched it twice, and I would say that I would still recommend it, but, I'd be careful about who I recommend it to.
Yeah.
Because, honestly,
as we discovered,
I never thought Leviathan would like it. I didn't think he'd hate it as much as, he may at the moment, but I didn't think it would really be his thing.
Actually, I would recommend this to any horror fan. Yeah, I know. I'm surprising you guys because, I had a lot of hate for this thing. But it's a genuinely good product when it's good. But I would recommend it only with the disclaimer of do not marathon.
Yeah, do not. No, take some time.
I watched it wrong.
Yeah, nurse it a
and
little bit.
I am willing, I try and be a realist when I, read the creepypastas or watch MarbleHornets. The folly was not entirely theirs. It was how I took it in.
Yeah.
Because this probably would have been way better if I had watched it over 3 months.
Yeah. 3
or
months.
more.
Sit down and watch one disc at a time.
Sit down and watch it on YouTube, a few entries at a time.
Yeah, that is also a good way to do it.
Or if you got it or borrowed it or bought it on DVD, and your DVD player has one of those fancy dancy memories like ours had.
Yeah.
That would be good. Watch it, and then, watch a couple of movies or a couple of discs of a season of a show, and then go back and watch a few entries.
Yeah, definitely.
But definitely not marathon because it doesn't hold up.
Fully going through it, yeah.
It's obviously, this is obvious. Blatantly, it's YouTube channel stuff. So, it's amateurish. There are a lot of, just holes and immersion-breaking things.
Plus the whole, I'm acting.
Yeah, which you're going to get in those things.
And the stilted script reading.
Yeah.
But, that being said, it's Like, I mean, I don't watch a lot of these,
Slender
YouTube
vlog things.
stuff. Well, I don't watch a
Or
lot of
YouTube.
any YouTube
Yeah.
vlog
Next year,
things.
every man hybrid.
So,
Maybe.
watching this one, I'm guessing it's probably pretty good example of it, and I'm betting there's a lot of shit out there
Yep.
that falls under it.
Yeah, it's a kind of a mixed bag. So
And for this to be, like, such an early example of Slenderman vlog, I really doubt that many of the other ones out there top this one.
again, mixed bag, but yeah.
Also, one thing that I didn't mention is I do freaking love the effect. They're all simple, but they're believable.
Yeah, they're all kind of practical.
Yeah,
effects, for
like
most
the
part.
whole like he was going through doors in what was it, Brian's
In
house?
Brian's house, yeah.
Yeah, and they were taking him to the wrong rooms. Like that, I mean, I could see how easy it was to do because really they just turned the lights off and had him go somewhere else. That's fine, but it was believable.
Yeah.
Like, and the random places that he was ending up, and the camera tracking, like that is not an effect you see much anymore. Because let's face it,
It's all
people
digital
don't
now.
use tape.
Yeah. It's all audio. It's all
But
little
I
less
like
difference.
it. I like
Yep.
it a lot. And the color distortion and just the way that they did all of their effects was very fluid. I'm just a fan.
Yep.
Just a fan.
Yeah, and it definitely all felt like the same source was causing it all, even if it was a little bit different.
Yep.
It always seemed like, okay, yeah, but that's because Slenderman's close.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
And that was your signal.
It was their music kind of thing. Like
It was kind of overused. There were some points where I was just like, oh great, I can't watch the next 3 minutes.
because it's horribly distorted.
But,
yeah.
I mean, that's more of a direction choice than, I'm gonna say really a flaw. It's just something that I didn't agree with. I can understand that others would have.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not going to condemn MarbleHornets because I got a little sick of it.
Yeah.
Because apparently, I'm not condemning MarbleHornets.
Yeah. So, that's it for everybody?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm good.
I don't think I got anything else to say.
No. So that is Marble Hornets. Go check it out on the Marble Hornets YouTube channel. You can check it out. You can also check out To the Ark, which is probably linked to Marble Hornets channel.
And the DVDs have both in order.
Yeah.
So
It's
if
in
you-
chronological order. Yeah.
If you listen to us and think that, hey, that's a purchase I want to make,
The DVDs all have them. So
yeah, you don't have to worry about only getting most of it.
Yeah. So, if you liked what we had to say and stuff, you can leave them in the comment section below wherever this gets posted, and you can also send them. You can also send us a review on iTunes since we're up there now. It'd be awesome. We're on YouTube, Tumblr, Kiwi6, Facebook to a degree. I'm probably the only one that actually uses the Twitter feed at Review Cultist, though you can pester Dr. Leviathan, and he may or may not answer.
I would totally answer. I love our listeners.
You can also send us an email at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. And this has been pretty much the end of Slendermonth for 2015. Also, if you would like to support us, we do have a donate button now on our Tumblr site at Al Dente Rigamortis Tumblr. Though the link would be crazonstudios.tumblr.com. I'll leave it in the description. Also, the music for the intro and outro is by Zip Zipper on YouTube. It's just called the Slenderman Song, so go check it out. So yeah, that has been Al Dente Rigamortis. I have been your host, Review Cultist.
And I'm still Dr. Leviathan.
And I'm Captain Solanum.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.
Slenderman, Slenderman, all the children try to run. Slenderman, Slenderman, to him it's part of the fun. Slenderman.